Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Untitled Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be making predictions on what will be the Blitz Fair tank of 2022. Now, there is always a Tier 10 that comes out in the Blitz Fair. It's basically common tradition by now. Last year, we had the AMX M454, and then, of course, before that, we had the VK90, and before that, we had the T22 Medium and the T95E6, and then before that, we had the M60. So, my guess is that there will be a Tier 10 coming out in the Blitz Fair this year, and I already have a pretty solid idea and evidence behind what the tank is going to be. So, of course, if you learned something new in today's video, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. Now, usually every year, there are two Tier 10s that are released. So, we already have the one Tier 10, which would be the Object 260, but there's actually a bit of a problem with this year, and that's because there are two more Tier 10s currently in testing. We have the Kampfpanzer 50-ton, and a vehicle that probably not a lot of people remember, the Object 907. So, the Kampfpanzer 50-ton, to what I'm aware, is actually supposed to come out very soon. And if to what my mods have been telling me is correct, and to what the evidence is showing, if the Kampfpanzer 50-ton is released in the next couple of weeks or in the next month, that means that there is no doubt in my mind that the Object 907 will be the 2022 Blitz Fair vehicle for World of Tanks Blitz. As we said, there's always a Blitz Fair tank, and usually it's pretty easy to tell what it is going to be. Last year, it was so easy to tell it was going to be the AMX M454, like literally 5 months ahead of time when I went into testing. So, yeah, this year, this is my guess, is it's going to be the 907. Now, if it turns out that the Object 907 is released before the Kampfpanzer 50-ton, then this, of course, will be the Blitz Fair tank. But from my idea of Wargaming's marketing team, they can easily sell this tank more than they would be able to sell this one for the Blitz Fair. Now, the Object 907 is a pretty cool vehicle, and we're going to be breaking into the statistics of the tank in today's video, talking about, is it going to be good, worth your while, or keeping it back over by the Wargaming devs in the Blitz Fair. So, it actually is weird, because most Soviet medium tanks, let's say like the T62A, or a good example would be, where is it, the T22 Medium, this vehicle has really good DPM. It's 3,219, and this is on the lower spectrum of Tier 10 Russian mediums that carry the smaller style gun. But this one actually has quite poor DPM. It's 3,398. Now, that's obviously not bad, but when you put on calibrated, it's 3,161, making it the worst of all the DPM for the Soviet medium style barrels, which is definitely a little bit worse, but it's not bad. You know, it'll still be able to punch through a lot of Tier 10 opponents, and it uses still more DPM than most vehicles like the STB-1. I would have said the Patton, but now the Patton is just a frickin' beast. But no, the E50M and other vehicles like that still aren't as good as DPM as the Soviet mediums. Now, the HE on this tank, oh man, is it strong though. As always, the Soviets carry 420 HE damage, a just massive buff on their damage, and what that means is your DPM goes up to 4,604 if you can get those shells through. Man, imagine if these tanks had but yeah, so the gun on the tank doesn't seem anything impressive, and neither does the aiming time. It's 1.81 seconds, and with a dispersion of 0.326, and its on-movement dispersion values being quite poor, man, this thing seems really not good when you compare it to a vehicle like, let's say, the T62A, which is about 200 more base damage per minute. Not only does it have about 200 more base DPM, but the gun's accuracy, like, look at how much better it is. So, yeah, why is the 907's gun so inaccurate for a Soviet medium? Why is the gun so poor DPM for a Soviet medium? Well, wait until we break into the armor and the concealment of this tank. Now, mobility-wise, it's fast. That's one big thing. This tank is incredibly fast, going 60 kilometers per hour forward with a power-to-weight ratio of 35.65. Now, to compare this to the 62A, sure, they have the same power-to-weight ratio, but it goes 10 less. So that is a big advantage of this vehicle, is that forward speed. As well, reverse speed of 25 makes it now the fastest tank in reverse in Tier 10, as the 62A only goes 20. So yeah, that is incredible. That reverse speed is going to make it such a pain in the butt. You can literally reverse faster than a mouse can accelerate in forward momentum. Yeah, that is quite impressive. That reverse speed is also very good. 65.61 degrees a second means that this thing turns more like a light tank than a medium, And here we go. Camouflage is 33.2%. That is incredibly good. The 62A is good as well at 29, but it is nowhere near 33%. It is the best camo while moving and still in tier 10, making it a pretty good vehicle if you want to zip around the hills. Now, of course, there are vehicles that are lights that have better camo. So when I meant the best, it definitely is only for mediums, not light tanks, as there also might be some tier 10 tank destroyers. I know like the Waffenträger, Panzer IV, the tier 9, has way better camo, but for a general consensus, this thing almost has camouflage of a light tank compared to a medium. So it's interesting. The gun is meh. It's very meh at that. There's nothing great about it, but it's also not bad. It's just an okay gun. And at the same time, the mobility is amazing. The tank only weighs 36 tons, so this thing is able to chunk in mobility. And well, how about we break into the armor profile now? This is the T-22 medium, a vehicle that is renowned as having incredibly troll armor. 230 millimeters on the upper plate. If you're fully hull down, yeah, you bounce right off of it. Even with heat shells, it's about 330 effective. Now, you can get through it, as you can see here, but it is pretty impressive for, of course, a medium tank on armor, especially the side scraping capabilities and the basically impervious turret to any shells. So, let's break into the 907. It's a very interesting hull, as you can see. The sides, oh man, are they going to be a pain. Even with heat shells, you can see it's quite thick. You're going to get a lot of bounces on the side, especially because people aren't really going to notice how troll they really are. Not to mention, the upper plate is quite strong, 205 millimeters thick, and this thing carries 7 degrees of gun depression, meaning that if you're hull down, even with heat shells, yeah, that's right. This thing has got incredibly thick armor. Very comparable to the T-22 medium, actually on its frontal armor. So, yeah, that's really good. The turret, it's okay. Like, heat, it can cut through the turret quite easily, as you can see. Hull down, it's going to be a lot harder, but you have to remember that if you're fighting tier 10 heavies, let's say like an IS-4, that's 374 heat pen, yeah, that heat, it butters right through your upper plate, butters through your turret. So, the armor's good, but it's nothing amazing. And this is what my general conclusion is on this vehicle. Wargaming balancing department is doing, in my opinion, a better job nowadays of balancing tier 10s coming into the game. And that's good. A vehicle like the Object 907, while it seems very strong, it does not seem broken to me, which is obviously a very good thing. The AMX M454, yeah, that tank is one of the strongest tier 10s. And while it's not used in competitions, it is, in my opinion, just a flat-out amazing tank. If you know what you're doing, definitely better than your average tier 10 heavy. And that goes for the VK90, and that goes for the T-22 medium. And yeah, those have been the last Blitzfair tanks. So, this year's Blitzfair might set an example of the future for World of Tanks Blitz. Less pay to win and more balanced vehicles, which is honestly amazing if that is the future. Because a good example of this is even a tank like the AE Phase 1, a vehicle that is ridiculously expensive that nobody will ever be able to get their hands on. Well, this tank is actually very, very balanced, and I'm happy about that, because at least it's not a broken tank that is put behind a paywall, an impossible paywall, to say it like that. But yeah, overall, I'm actually happy with the Object 907 to hopefully be the Blitzfair tank. It doesn't seem broken, which is good. So hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!